How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Tag Team, Pokemon Trading Card Games Premier podcasting trio. My name is Riley Hulbert, joined, as always, by my good friends, Mr. Andrew Mahone and Mr. JW Kriewall. Folks, how are we doing today?
Chilling, Riley. Doing great. Just ran a half marathon yesterday, which is the longest that I have run in 15 years or so. So, yeah, my body was not necessarily prepared for it. I've been running, right? Maybe 2 to 3 days a week, I would say. And I've been averaging between 6 and 15 miles a week. On weeks that I run two days, it's like a 6-mile week because I'm just running 2 days by myself, and I only ever go for 3-mile runs. And usually I have the stroller with me, and I'm taking my son out, and we go for a little 3-mile jog. And then on days where I run 3 days, I'm hitting more in the teens, and that's because I'll do one of my runs with Craig and Tracy, who are my running buddies right now. And Craig is one of my friends from Pokemon. So, we've been doing races together, and it's been a lot of fun. And they've been training hardcore for the half marathon for a while. I have known that the half marathon is coming up, but have not been able to dedicate more time to prepping for it. So I've been doing some longer runs with them. I think we hit a 9-mile run together a week or two ago. So I knew that I could do it. You do a 9-mile run, you're like, yeah, I could go a few more miles, that'd be fine. Mm-hmm. And I kind of knew that I could do a half marathon, but still, I've never raced a half marathon before. Even in college, I'd run 13 miles. I think the longest I've ever run, traversed on 2 feet, is probably 15. And just because I was a middle distance runner, so there just was no reason to ever go that far.
Right.
And now, signed up for half marathon. I'm like, well, okay, well, I guess we're gonna have to do it. It was beautiful though. It was an awesome experience. It was the perfect fall morning. The race started at 8 a.m. There was fog, cascading across the fields. There was a lot of different kind of rivers that we were running by. It was all happening on the Towpath Trail. The Towpath Trail is beautiful trail in Northeast Ohio. And it was awesome. I mean, it was very flat too. And the first 3 miles, I felt like I was kind of waking up a little bit. And my goal was to run 9-minute pace for the whole thing, just because like I said, only running 6 to 15 miles a week. So that was my goal. And I go out in 7:30 pace, and I'm like, okay, but I'm feeling okay. I'm cooking a little bit. It's a beautiful day. I never raced with headphones in, but I had my AirPods in, and I was I'm kind of I made myself a playlist. I'm grooving, and end up going through the first 5K in 23 minutes and some change, and I'm it's basically 4 5Ks, so quarter of the way there, I'm feeling pretty good. And then somewhere around mile 6 and 7, I started to feel like I had reached nirvana, enlightenment. I was in such an insane tempo, and was just feeling really positive and just enjoying the serenity of nature and all the other runners on the trail.
Dang.
Everything was clicking. You could see that in my miles, because I started running faster for some reason, mile 6, mile 7. I dropped back to after cooking 7:30, I was I need to chill out a little bit, or I'm going to die out here. So I backed it off to 7:45, 7:50 mile pace, but was still holding strong
Give yourself a breather.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was still holding strong sub 8-minute pace, and then mile 6 and 7 though, I dropped back down to 7:30. The playlist must have been hitting, because those 2 miles,
that can be the difference.
I know, but come mile 8 and 9, I'm I could make it to mile 10 for sure. I'm good. And at that point, it was kind of a long out and back along the towpath. At that point, you're getting to the turnaround point, and I was doing okay until mile 10. I was still holding strong, sub 8-minute mile pace.
Mm-hmm.
But then like miles 10 to 13, my whole body started locking up. Like my calves were locking up. If I tried to push my pace any further, they started to like Charlie horse up on me. My back was killing me. My knees were killing me. Like I'm just dogging it out, like trying to hold on for dear life. And at this point, I'm already like so stoked on how well I've been running because I just did 10 miles like in sub 8-minute pace, which when I was in college, like that's like mad easy. But like I have not done anything like this in such a long time that I was like astounded that I had gotten this far. My goal for the whole race was to run sub 2 hours. And at this point, I'm like, I'm on track to run in like the 140s. So like just if I could just like finish the job, I'm going to have a great day. So my last 3 miles, I just like dogged it in. Could not uptick my pace at all as much as I tried, and really was just in pure survival mode. But ended up finishing in an hour and 45 minutes. So my pace calculator was like right around 8 flat or so. My last 3 miles really did me in. I was averaging like 750, 745 pace through 10. And my last 3 miles, they were like upper 8s, like mid to upper 8s was my pace. So like those really kind of pulled everything else back. But all in all, I was very proud of the experience, very happy with it. It was a lot of fun. I think I'll probably be back to do it again next year. I did the 5K, like this event, they have a 5K, a half marathon, and a marathon. I did the 5K last year, half marathon this year. I don't think that like maybe one day eventually I'll run a marathon just to say I did it. But like I'm probably going to take a couple of years of like just prepping for a half marathon and just going through with it. And then like maybe one year I'll do the same thing where I'm like kind of in shape to do a half marathon, but not in shape to do a full marathon. And then we'll just do it just to like, just to do it.
Oh man, the marathon's a whole different beast, I feel like.
Well, of course it is, dude. My body was breaking down at a half.
Right.
I have an uncle that does distance marathons, but he runs them in the mountains. So it's like an elevation distance, extreme marathon. I don't know what they call them, but
ultra
it's like
marathons?
ultra, like an ultra marathon, like a 50 mile.
Because they have like 100-mile races.
Yeah.
That are called like ultra marathons. You have to be like a true sicko to want to do those.
Yeah.
I already think you're a true sicko if you're on a marathon, like low key. And one of my best friends is a marathon runner from high school. My buddy Alex can run sub 2:30 in the marathon. He is a freaking monster.
Yeah, that's terrifying for sure.
He's like locally famous, like it is Eric, because he's a freaking beast. He wins every single race he enters. Like locally,
no kidding. He's running 26 miles in under 2 hours.
2 hours and 30 minutes. Under 2 hours and 30 minutes. Yes, he's a freaking beast. Yes. Yeah. I used to roast him back in high school, like when we were on the same team, but like his powers have gained exponentially since then.
Yeah, well, he's like super serious about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys saw him at the wedding. He was at the wedding. He was he was at the wedding party with you guys. So you know Alex. Yeah. He's a freaking beast.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, congratulations, Andrew. That's an awesome achievement. It's not something that everyone can say. How about you, JW? What'd you get up to?
We were up in Rhode Island this weekend. So had a chance to visit some church friends from Ohio. They moved out there. One of our friends is he just became a professor at Brown University. And so we had been meaning to meet up with them since they had moved to the East Coast. And we finally made the trip. So headed up there Friday afternoon and spent a couple days with them and headed back Sunday. So it was great to catch up and, see their new house and tour Brown campus. It was pretty funny. I was saying, my kids, I was texting family about the weekend and I was like, yeah, they got to sit in on a college lecture and meet the professor afterwards. And it was our friend, of course, but had a really great time. And, the Northeast in the fall is just gorgeous. I mean, New Jersey is nice, Definitely, you get some foliage change, but I
Okay,
feel like in
New
those...
Jersey is nice on record.
Don't
from
clip
JW.
that. Don't clip that. Okay. Don't take that out of context. But I feel like the quaint little New England town, it's a next level for fall, right? The New England towns were made for fall. And it was just gorgeous up in Providence, Rhode Island. And it's a very chill weekend. How about you, Riley?
Yeah, I feel like that like early fall is just such a nice time of year.
That's great.
Like everywhere,
Yep,
like
that's great.
we had a wedding. My fiance's sister got married this weekend, so we took a long drive from Madison to Cleveland, and like seeing all the trees and stuff made it a little bit better, a little more bearable for a 7.5-hour drive. But we had a ton of fun. It was a great time, and great to see the family and celebrate the love of Jill's sister and her lovely wife. And yeah, it was a great time. Kind of jarring to like come back to work today after like we were off on Thursday and Friday, so last week was super short, and like we were driving all day Sunday, so like, and then just back to the office with you. So,
I know.
That was
it's
a
tough.
bummer,
Like,
but
I mean, it's like it's hard with all the travel, right? Because we felt that too, where with the kids and traffic, it was maybe like 5 or 6 hours to go to Rhode Island, and then to come back, like we stopped on the way, and so I definitely feel like I waste a whole day, with. Well, I feel like it happened. You wasted.
It just
a day,
is what
like,
it is
traveling.
with the driving, but like also like if you're flying, you also kind of waste a lot of the day in a lot of cases. So it's like, but my case for the flying is like I'm wasting the time doing something, but I'm like not actively doing it. I'm just sitting around.
Yeah, and then just wait until you have kids, though, bro. Then it just changes everything.
Sure. But like, it is what it is. But the drive is pretty easy, honestly. Like it's two core segments. There's pre-Chicago and post-Chicago in either direction, and then and those are kind of like one thing, and then there's the Chicago part of it where you have all the traffic and stuff. But the rest of the road is like completely empty on either side.
I hate driving through Chicago. It's awful.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it sucks for sure.
Really dislike it.
It sucks. Yeah, all is well, and some major like reorg stuff going on at work, which is kind of interesting, and I have some major stuff coming up over the next few weeks, so it's going to be really busy. So it was nice to have some like family time before getting really busy.
Yeah, for sure. Well, good. Well, should we get into it, fellas?
We shall. Yeah.
Did you guys see this cheating video?
To be honest, I didn't actually watch the video. I just saw people talking about it.
All right, let's.
It's worth a gander, dude. I mean, like anytime you see, I feel like it's just important to see, right? Because like it could happen to you, right? So
it's not gonna happen.
Out there,
I'm just built diff.
Well, yeah, me too. But like for the viewer, for dear listener, okay, for the listener, it's important to see this kind of stuff because this is how people try to cheat a lot of times. I mean, this is like kind of your classic palm, right? Where
well, it's
they
like
try to like
divert attention,
right?
Uh-huh.
Yes, and then slide something. And to be honest, this kid, I mean, and he's a kid, but the kid's not even very good at it. He's not very slick, but you could imagine against a less aware opponent,
or even,
he would have gotten away with it.
Yeah. And
so
this
is it. If your opponent's
right?
like pointing to your, trying to check your discard pile, and then like asking you a question about something in your hand, trying to divert attention.
Yeah.
While the deck is in the hand, and then
so watch this. So watch
another.
You see this counter catcher. That's the top card. It might be a little bit difficult to see, but that is a counter catcher, and going through the deck, and then you'll see him kind of flip it active, and then there's an ask at some point here about like. And then you also look at like just kind of how awkward the hand motions are around the deck. Like he's trying to find the time.
Like so it looks through
little looks through the discard pile. I think is going to ask a question about, hand size. Yep, there it is. Picks up the hand, and then boom, you see it immediately picking out that card. We'll watch it again. So watch the player on the left pick up the hand, and then watch the player on the right slip the top card.
They kind of like,
or the bottom
they
card
kind of
of
like
the
tap
deck.
their deck against the table, and when they do that, they set a card from the deck down on the table.
Boom.
It's
Yep,
a
there you
one-handed boom.
Dang.
Yeah, exactly.
go.
Yeah.
So
Dang, that is
pretty bad.
that's diabolical work for sure.
It's very clearly intentional, I think, is what you can see. I mean, all the way from the setting the cards you want on the top of the deck seemed very intentional. The diverting the attention seemed very intentional. And then we didn't show off the best part, JW.
Is that
Pull
right?
it back up, bro. The best part is that his opponent catches it immediately.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is true. This is very unusual, actually. I do agree, Andrew. Where it's like you will see, this has happened in the past on streams, but very rarely will the opponent be like, "Hey, bro, what are you doing?" So watch this.
What the heck was that? Yeah.
At the end, like boom, it's happened, and look at these points. Oh. Oops.
The point is crazy.
What the heck
The
is
point
that,
crazy. Oh man.
Bro, if you can't even cheat well enough to have your opponent like
Oh.
Bro, you
Miss
thought
it?
you were going to be slick enough. You thought you were going to be slick enough to dodge your opponent and anybody watching after
and the
fact?
camera,
Like,
yeah.
you gotta be kidding me.
On
bro.
camera is wild work for sure. Also, gotta say, like, unfortunate to have to root for a max rarity Raging Bolt or like a medium rarity Raging Bolt, but like that's just the situation. I think another thing too, like we're talking about like distractions or like looking at this card pile, asking your opponent about your hand, but for dear listener out there, right? Like you're at a regional. There's so much stuff going on. There's people playing Pokemon directly on both sides of you. How easy is it to like get distracted in the middle of your opponent's? You can't play interaction, right? So how easy is it to like glance over at the game next to you and just see like what their turn's looking like? That game's kind of interesting. Or glance at the timer during your opponent's turn and like lose sight of kind of what's happening in the game in front of you, right?
Yep.
So like,
yep.
And maybe if this opponent in the stream game was in that kind of setting, like would they have caught it in that? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, definitely a lesson learned there in terms of vigilance. And we were talking about this in our group chat earlier today, and Lance made a good point as well of because like it's so egregious, right, to do it on camera. And Lance's point was like, well, maybe this person got away with it a bunch of times, and like they kind of got that like sense of security or confidence in doing this sort of thing. And I'm not saying necessarily that's the truth, but like
I don't know.
you
I
have
think
to
that's the
wonder,
only way.
right?
I think that's the only way that you
Like it's just part of their workflow,
Yeah, yeah,
to
right.
do this.
right. Yeah, I think that's the only way that you have the the
Audacity.
cojones, the audacity to cheat like this on a stream match, no less, right? It's just ingrained, right?
You just
It's
feel
ingrained.
untouchable. 'cause
And
you've
then
never
and
been
then
caught.
and then I get back to this. I mean, we've talked about this a lot on the cast too. Is like, why would people cheat? There's an entitlement there, right? I think that's kind of the root cause of cheating, and whether it's a high profile player that you follow or watch, or just some person at your locals. It's ultimately, I think, comes down to like that person feeling like they deserve to win for one reason or another over their opponent, and so taking that step to make that cheating action is one way that they exert that they're better, right? They say like, okay, I deserve this more than you do.
Right, like I'm the better
and
player. Like I should have drawn the card because I did all the right things.
Yep.
So like I'm just gonna make that happen.
Yeah, exactly. So pretty gross stuff. Just keep your eyes peeled, ladies and gents. Keep your eyes
stuff
peeled.
like that.
Star players.
I mean, honestly,
True. Gotta write that into my guide.
I think stuff like that you should just get banned if it's caught like that.
I think
serve,
like
like,
I think like a year makes sense.
At least a year.
Right? I think just like one
Like
year,
the duration
like
of the
auto-ban.
season,
Yeah, or duration.
You should
of
at
the
least
season.
be banned for the rest of the season, at least. Yeah, because you have to imagine that this player did not decide to start cheating for the first time ever on a streamed match at a League Cup. Like, you have to imagine. And if you're bold enough to do it, like, and I'm just saying, and the way that it looked practiced as well, with the diversion and like the slick little flip down.
They definitely knew their moves.
They knew their
they
moves.
Clearly didn't practice it that well because it
Yeah.
was pretty sloppy.
Yeah, they knew what they were going for. So it seems beyond a reasonable doubt that it was premeditated, like during the turn, premeditated that they were going to attempt to, and also just like an insane situation where it's like a 6-1, situation. I mean, maybe he's trying to clutch the game out. Maybe the switch outs are gone, and this is the one counter catcher that would do it. But like, at a certain point, it's like just looks kind of pathetic, right? Where you're at a League Cup, like very reasonably lower stakes, compared to other tournaments that you would be at, and you're willing to like sack your reputation or any of that,
integrity,
for what, like. So I would hope that this is just kind of a reminder to don't go down that path, just don't even. You formulate something in your mind where these kinds of options to win games where you cheat are not even on the table, right? Like, you definitely have to have some sort of barrier up where, and for some people that barrier is easier to have exist than others. Other people are like, it's very fluid. They're like, I don't know, I can do anything. Like, I'll do whatever it takes to win, So like, if you don't have a strong barrier there, build one, okay? It takes practice, build one. But for most of us, it's like, of course I would never.
Have some
self-respect. Is too strong.
Yeah.
Have
the
some
integrity
self-respect,
portion
right?
of that is a big deal. So, good points. All right. Well, that's fun. That's a fun little side road that we went on. I want to take a look at some YouTube comments.
Mailbag.
Shout out to the YouTube commenters. We had one comment. It's kind of cut off by Andrew's head, which I mean maybe is for the best here. I finally figured it out. The reason Andrew looks so familiar, he looks like Squints from The Sandlot as an adult. Do you get that a lot, Andrew?
Yes.
Is it just the glasses? I mean, it just has to be the glasses,
yes.
Right? Like if you change the glasses, if you do like wireframes, probably not getting that comment.
Then I'm not getting it. I have thick profile glasses and I wear a hat. I'm a white guy, thick glasses, wear a hat. That's just what I get. Yep.
You brought that onto yourself. We had a lot of comments talking about deleting social media and how that's a good thing. Someone said I deleted social media from my phone about a year ago after some rough life stuff. Great decision. I think we're all in agreement that you should not have social media. You should not even be anywhere near social media. Now, whether or not some of us take that advice, that's a whole different story. I think we're all in agreement it's a scourge.
If you asked, like, is there anything about it that has been like a net positive? Lately, I don't want to say ever. I mean, like in the last couple years, has it been a net positive in your life in the last couple years? I'm not saying ever. Don't tell me about the story about the really cool special thing you did on Facebook back in 2008. That was a different time.
Yeah,
okay?
That was a different time.
It was a very different time. Lately, I'm talking like 2023 onward. Has social media been a positive force in your life? Like, and for me, it's mostly I feel ill when I'm on it. I feel like a drug addict looking for the next hit.
Well, I mean, that is basically the entire whole thing. Well, I did get to see these little videos for a while where it was like these little fluffy dogs going through obstacle courses, and that was pretty good. So, yeah, I think social media is a W.
Yeah, there was definitely a golden age, though. It's tough, man. Some of the videos that I'm seeing online now. I mean, just having to second guess whether or not things are real it gets really tiring.
It's messed up for sure.
It gets really tiring.
But it's like it's bad on like even YouTube and stuff. Lately I've been getting these ads for this service which I think is a gambling.
It's a gambling.
website.
Oh, it's
Kalshi, yes.
Kalshi,
and
Kalshi?
like the
Dude,
ad is
me
like
too, bro.
all AI generated, and it's
The
like
cheese
I love
tells me.
Kalshi, and then at the very end, it's always a crowd, and they're like chanting Kalshi into the camera with their AI generated voice. It's so weird.
It's so cringe too, because it's like Phoenix will win. I have
It's like
Dallas.
if Philadelphia
It's
took
like,
my advice, they would always win. Yeah.
Horrible.
Kalshi,
Dude, I know exactly what you're talking
and they're in
about.
an empty field. Kalshi.
I have not seen this.
It's messed up. It is.
I like the scene with the kid who has the foam.
I don't know that. I think there's like
he's got the foam
a bunch
finger.
of different variants of it. I think
There must be. He's got the foam finger, and then he's saying his bit, and then the like trash can. There's a trash can behind him that just bursts into flames.
that's insane. Yeah. So yeah, AI is like definitely like getting completely out of control.
Yep.
It got completely
Yeah,
AI
yeah.
generated ads these days.
Yeah. Yeah. For probably
like,
for
Coke
a
did
vibe
one.
coded application too.
For a vibe coded gambling application.
The first really truly big one, I think, was probably that Coke commercial. What, the Christmas
Yeah.
commercial?
The Christmas one last year. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's kind of the beginning of the end, right?
The
Kalshi one is so egregious though. It's like,
Kalshi one is bad. Yeah, you might have to search this out if you haven't seen it.
I
would say I bet our
demographic.
demographic, right, the like 20 to 40 year old, gamer demographic probably is going to be pumped this. So if you don't have YouTube Red or YouTube Pro or whatever, you're probably seeing this ad. I got to imagine. So let us know in the comments, either on YouTube or on your favorite podcasting platform, if you have seen this ad, because it is just absurd. Got one more comment
I
here.
think there's like a bunch of different variants of it, but it's like
Okay, I'll have to check out your variant.
because the
Very
thing is like
easy
it
to
costs
iterate.
nothing for them. They could just make a ton of them and like.
Well, it costs the ad. It costs the ad, spend that they would.
But
have
like
to make
making
on
a new
YouTube. Yeah, but
variant
making
of it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
cost
yeah.
them anything,
Yeah,
so it's like
that's true.
it's just the cost of the ad, of like sending the ad.
Yeah, and then they could iterate a lot easier too, right? They like see it's really working, like the kid with the foam finger and the exploding trash can. It's like that didn't really hit, but everyone yelling Kalshi in the field, that's what did it.
I've seen at least two. One where they're in an empty field, and one where they're in like a bar.
Okay. I saw. Did you see the scene with she's holding a chip and there's like cheese? Was that in yours?
Maybe.
Because
I don't
she's
know.
talking about how the cheese.
I usually
the
skip it
cheese-
as soon as I get the opportunity, right?
Okay. So you.
But it takes 5
that's
seconds.
No, because I had to watch through to the end. I was getting the same one, and she was talking about nacho chips with cheese. And one last comment here. About 19 minutes in, and the episode turns into an intervention for Jesse Parker. Yep. I mean, I feel like every day that I'm in a chat with Jesse,
Every
it
day is an
turns into
intervention for Jesse Parker.
Yeah. So anyway, he'll come to, whether it's now or in 6 months.
Well, he's got testing for Vegas to do first.
That is true. Yeah. Speaking of testing for Vegas, we have a couple of, we have regional results from Lille this past weekend that we want to dive into. And then next week we have Gdansk and Brisbane regionals. There's a week break, and then we have Las Vegas. So I am really starting to ramp up my prep for the Las Vegas Regional Championships, and it's been good because we've had another data point in this format in the results from Lille. So let's take a look at what
It
happened
was
at
level
that tournament.
20 on the battle pass and talking about ramping.
No,
up
level
and stuff.
28, level 28. And I've been testing with people, okay? And not just on the ladder, all right? Although the ladder is effective to some degree, although it's broken right now because we have the new cards, the Diancie and the Gengar. So it's like maybe the ladder right now is actually the worst place to try to test, but
The
I
Gengar
digress.
is such a fraud, bro. You don't have to worry about the Gengar.
But the Diancie is insane. The Diancie is cracked beyond belief. So
for sure.
here is the Lille Regional Top 16 cut. Now this was an interesting cut. There were actually 17 qualified players with the appropriate record to make the top 8. Right. So there were 17 players that had a 10-1 record or better. And so there was a bubble for the top 16 cut, which has, or for the ASIM cut, which hasn't happened yet. It happened here for the first time. In Lille had about 2,000 players. So, when you're in that kind of, region, that player count, you're more prone, right? When you're almost to that next cutoff with the next round. But yeah, 2,028 players here for this tournament. And we saw, I think the main story, you look at this is the half of the top 16 bracket, 4 Dragapult. You look at the other half, 2 Dragapult. So 6 Dragapult decks in the top 16. You got a couple of your Terror Box decks, Charizard obviously making an appearance, and then I think another big story, the Zoroarks. A couple of Zoroarks with Gabriel Fernandez and Piper Lapine playing the End Zoroark deck. So pretty interesting stuff. Gardevoir, of course, also makes an appearance at 16th seed and at 8th seed. So, fellas, looking at the top 16, what are some thoughts? I'm sure you guys watched some of the tournament throughout the weekend. What are your thoughts coming out of Lille?
I think the Dragapult story is kind of interesting to me, in that Gardevoir, of course, is a challenging matchup for Dragapult, but it's not unwinnable, especially the non-Jellicent versions of Guardy. And we're seeing a little bit of a centralization, at least in Lille, from what I observed, of Gardevoir without Jellicent being a pretty dominant strategy in the field at large. And actually, those more turbo variants of Gardevoir are a little more vulnerable to Dragapult, actually, because they're much more disrupted by the item lock from Badoo. They can't rare candy and they don't play TMs, so it's much harder for them to get online fully under Badoo lock. And then if Dragapult is able to sneak just a couple of turns, now all of a sudden they're popping Dusknars and counter catchering stuff and Hawlucha-ing, and you can remove as many as 3 Ralts or 2 Ralts and a Kirlia from the board in one turn with those types of plays. And again, under Badoo, these turbo variants can struggle to fully establish that. And so it felt to me Dragapult saw that kind of hole in the metagame. These players playing Dragapult saw that hole in the Turbo Guardy strategies as they're built right now, and kind of went in on that, right? And Dragapult has good matchups against the field at large, or very even matchups at worst in the field at large, particularly when piloted by a good player. So, and then, as an ancillary win, Charizard just won.
Yeah.
And Charizard is unlosable. so it all kind of comes together and creates this perfect situation for Dragapult to slip in and do really well.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we ended up seeing.
Yeah, I mean, here was the general stats from phase 1. So you had Gardevoir at 12%, a little bit misleading. This is kind of the more, I guess, traditional turbo variant, right? With probably TM Evos or at least heavy rare candy counts. You see in the best of the rest, the Gardevoir Jellicent, they separated that archetype out at 4%. But then Goldengo EX, number 2, we had seen, in Milwaukee, just the rise of Ceruledge. That's still somewhat of a player, but certainly dropped down from its highs in that regional. And then, like you were talking about, Riley, Charizard, the 3rd most popular deck. People getting bold, right? Bringing out their Charizards, the Charizard heads, gaining a lot of confidence from Jackson Ford's win in Milwaukee.
Exactly what the Dragapult players want to say.
And that's, yeah. I mean, look at that. I mean, phase 1, only 7% of the field is Dragapult Dusknoir, like the 5th most played deck. I mean, and it's a little bit misleading, right? Because you have, 148 versus 151. Like, you're not talking about that much of a difference. But for what I would consider to be, the consensus S tier deck alongside of Gardevoir variants, for Dragapult to be 5th most played is pretty absurd. Now, all that said, the conversion rate was stellar. So if we go into phase 2, there's where we see Dragapult Dusknoir climb, right? So Gardevoir still maintaining that top spot, but then Dragapult coming in at 12%, where it was 7% in phase 1.
Can I say something?
Pretty good stuff there.
Nah.
Conversion rate.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go. So you know what? That's kind of what this whole thing is.
Ceruledge is not a good deck, bro.
It is not.
Preaching to the choir, my guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that deck is horrible,
that deck's
man.
cheeks,
I mean, like,
cheeks.
Absolutely horrendous. I just can't believe how popular it is. I mean, with how
you were about to play it, dude. You were about to play it, bro.
I mean, like, listen, I didn't like any of the other stage 2 decks, but I was preferred Goldengo. Goldengo is a far better deck than Ceruledge, and even Goldengo seems like it's kind of butt right now. But like, Goldengo is way better than Ceruledge. You have way more going on. Ceruledge is total cheeks.
Yeah, Ceruledge.
Yeah, I mean, the argument for Ceruledge is you have like the Briar option, though I think that's extremely fraudulent and is not like a serious component of your game.
I mean, think about it right now, right? It's like Charizard also has the Briar option. Grimmsnarl, Dragapult, and Gardevoir can delay their prizes, to take multi-prize turns that deny Briar. And then Goldengo is like, that's the one matchup that you want to use Briar, but they can also do weird things with their rocks, man. Like, it's really like pigeonholing into, you bring up Briar as an option.
Well, it's also like
that's
that
like really just for Goldengo, like right? And the
very
mirror,
easy for you on average.
Yeah. Yes. So.
Yeah, just extremely fraudulent for sure. Good take, Andrew.
All right. I did not watch any of Lille. I actually was broadcasting a Ruby and Sapphire to Power Keepers tournament all day on Saturday, and then ran my half marathon on Sunday, and then was
that's the weekend.
Doing other family stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, I had a very fun pack weekend. But all right, explain to me Zoroark EX like I'm stupid.
Good.
Like I'm stupid, bro. Like what hole is Zoroark exploiting? Why is it good sometimes and bad others? Like, why are only a couple people ever playing it and then spiking? Like, what's its deal, bro? Like, why? Is it goated or not?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it should be obvious that you're going to beat all Gardevoir variants.
That's
right? that should be obvious.
It's a dark deck that draws cards. Sure.
It's a dark deck that draws cards, right? You're also, I mean, I'm just pulling up the Trainer Hill graphic. You also, I just feel like it's kind of a foil to Dragapult in that, like, aside from the Gardevoir matchup, you're not winning anything just outright, but you're not losing to anything outright, right? So it's the same kind of like thing that we're saying about Dragapult Dusknoir, in that you can beat anything, but you're not, you don't have auto wins. You're just, if you're a good player, you can find the lines into any matchup. And
so what's the advantage of a deck like this over Dragapult? Doesn't Dragapult just seem like, I mean, I guess this deck beats.
So you have
Guardy,
a much more dominant Guardy. You have a much
Okay.
more dominant Guardy, and I would say like you have less explosive options in every other matchup. But like obviously Guardy is like a huge component of the final stages of a tournament. So if you're able to make it that far, then Zoroark's pretty decent.
And this deck probably just loses to like your Ceruledge and your Goldengo.
Zoroark can be, it's
Zoroark should
they typically
lose,
are going to play like a Toadscruel for Goldengo,
Mhm.
which can really
But
help.
you're just losing those, it looks like. probably with Piper's list.
Yeah,
I'm looking at
Bolt.
Piper's list.
Yeah, kind of all the turbo deck or all the one hit KO
All the decks that
right,
just take
are going to be
easy
tough.
280.
Yeah, they're going to be tough.
Yeah.
Goldango's going to be tough. Raging Bolt is going to be tough. But look at those decks, right? Look at those decks and how they converted. How many players are playing them? Like no one's really going for the one hit KO strategy, right? The turbo decks are not
and like,
really
but you can play
existent.
answers, right? You can play Cornerstone. You can play
Mm-hmm.
the Zoroark deck is very like customizable, because really the only like must haves are like your core engine of like the couple PP ups, the Cyranos, the 4/4 Zoroark, and the 2 or the 1/2 Reshiram. Like if you can get like that core, then the rest of it's pretty flexible. You can play Yveltals, you can play like Okidogi is in Piper's more recent list. In her previous list, she played Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon. It's just like you can play like these random weird cards because the deck is so flexible and because it draws so many cards so reliably.
Yeah, the Okidogi
it's like the
is
classic
a cool one.
Zoroark conundrum, right? You just play a bad card and then trade it.
Yep. Okidogi is a cool one, right? Doing 260 if you're poisoned, and you can activate that, of course, with the Pekarant. Pekarant, nice little card. I've just been seeing it in a lot of decks, a lot of good decks here. Coming up with the Pekarant sauce. Playing an Yveltal of her own. This is Piper's list, and then it's just another deck that can reasonably use Monkey Dory, right? And that's like, this is just the card. This is just the card of the last, year and a half. You got to be able to play this or abuse your opponent playing it, and I think Zoroark certainly fits that bill.
Agreed.
So,
I will say, like, I played a lot of Zoroark before Milwaukee. Sometimes when I was playing it, I felt like, like you could sometimes struggle. Like you could navigate these lines, but it would require your opponent to like somewhat play into them or like hit into the Zoroark at the right time and not have a gust or something.
Yes,
like those moments happen for sure, but I would largely concur with JW that it's like you can kind of navigate the matchups, so long as they aren't, the specific one hit KO deck that you didn't prepare for or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and I think by and large the one hit KO decks, like you're not seeing those the later on you go into the tournament. You're seeing the Dragapults, you're seeing the Guardies, you're seeing
calculated risk, right?
Yeah, it's calculated risk, right? So I mean, you're gonna have to thread the needle to have a spike at any major tournament. But I think by and large, at least for Lille, players really disrespected things like Joltik Box, things like Raging Bolt, right? These big kind of one hit KO decks that that look to just overwhelm the opponent. Not really much of a factor. I wanted to take a look at the conversion rate as well. This was a graphic that they had from the regional, and highest converting decks. These are not in order, but Guard of War with a 22%, so converting at a reasonable amount, and then Dragapult with the most conversion rate at 28%. I mean, I think that makes sense. Again, relatively low play, 7% in day one. Played Dragapult Dusknoir, converted at 28%. You're just looking at the best players playing Dragapult Dusknoir. Right, you had a finalist, both finalists with Dragapult. You had Henry Brand in the ASIM playing Dragapult. Like, a lot of your best players from the weekend were playing this archetype. And then, hey, Marnie's Grimmsnarl. There it is, 23%. Second best. I don't know. Something may be there. Might be something there.
maybe. It's interesting too. No Guardies ended up making the top 8. Like they were in the bracket, but then they lost in the ASIM, or I guess it was symmetrical, but you know what I mean.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, why do you think Guardy? I don't know. Dare I say, why do you think Guardy flopped? Maybe flop is the wrong word, but underperformed, I guess, relative to past results.
I think some of it is probably like player bias, like player selection, right? Of like what players were there and what decks they were choosing to play.
Mm-hmm.
otherwise I would probably boil it down to like these late stages of the tournaments. I mean, look at this lineup. Like, how many of those decks have a good matchup or even matchup into Guardy? And again, like the Dragapult Dusknoir like has a very serviceable rare candy Guardy matchup. So these variants that are playing that like heavy candy, it's not quite as like much of a blowout as like these Jellicent variations where you're one hit KOing with a item locker.
Yeah. So moving forward, how would you we have 2 data points. You guys played in Milwaukee. You played the Absol deck. That was largely non-existent for the Lille Regionals, but we have 2 data points in this new Mega Evolution format. Where do you see this evolving for this weekend's tournament? We have Brisbane and Gdansk, and then into Vegas. Like, is it just a continued centralization of decks where you see, oh my goodness, I didn't even notice. They have who is proofing this? There's a typo. Did you guys see this?
Gardevoir.
Interesting. They are human. Anyway, sorry. I just... Where do you see the metagame?
I'm surprised they type it out.
Yeah, me too.
I'm surprised they don't have like just buttons or something.
Do you see the metagame continuing to like centralize, right? That's kind of how I see, Milwaukee was maybe a bit more spread. We saw just kind of a wider variety of decks. We had obviously the rogue Absol deck cropped up in significant with a significant showing. That by and large fell to the wayside for Lille, and then we're kind of just seeing, at the high end, maybe not for day one, but at the high end, Gardevoir, Dragapult, Zoroark, right? That's kind of your top 3 from at least Lille. Do we see kind of a continuation of that heading into this weekend's tournaments and ultimately into Vegas, where if you're not playing something that beats Gardevoir and Dragapult, you might as well not even be playing, or like if you're not playing Gardevoir and Dragapult yourself, you're not going to win the tournament? Like, where do you think players' minds are going to go after seeing what happened in France?
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's a Gardevoir Dragapult show. I mean, like, obviously. And I think it'll just continue to be. I mean, the decks are insane. And they reward, high-level play. So the best players are going to continue playing them. I think that, if you could try to be a top player playing Gardevoir or Dragapult. That is certainly a successful strategy. We saw Lance... one of our buddies do that in Milwaukee, just be a high level Dragapult player and just say, gonna go do it, and top 16 Milwaukee with Dragapult, right? Just be a high ladder Dragapult or Guardy player, and you'll be in the mix, right? Or you got to be playing some sort of X Factor deck that you feel like can adequately handle them, because you're not going to like walk into a tournament where Gardevoir and Dragapult are weirdly underrepresented. I think, right? It's just not happening in like the next few weeks. Like, that's just not happening, right? So like, I think that we're going to continue to see the fraudulent decks really drop off. I'm looking at you, Saraledge. I think will be less of a factor. I think that the Kangaskhan Absol deck, now that it's like kind of more of a known quantity, will probably see less play, as there's less kind of like surprise.
It's interesting you say that though, because I feel like that deck would actually do quite well in the ASIM if it like made it to the ASIM for.
I mean, like,
for low.
Yeah, what are you really worried about as the Mega Absol Kangaskhan deck?
I like that deck. I know,
that's what I'm saying. Like, what are you?
Yeah.
What Riley's talking
worried
about.
About
what are you worried
Saraledge.
about at the top end? Yeah, worried about the Saraledge.
Yeah, so we got to bring the Saraledge stocks down pronto.
Yeah. So maybe Kangaskhan Absol stands to gain a little bit. You probably, I guess, against a deck like Zoroark, you're probably okay.
Yeah.
As the Kangaskhan Absol deck, you both are like kind of tanky and not necessarily one hit KOing each other. You both got monkeys, like you're kind of doing that thing. They probably draw a little better than you. You do have the option to just like double monkey KO one with an Absol if they do swing into you. So I can imagine that being kind of an interesting matchup. But if the one hit KO decks kind of chill out, then you do have, Kangaskhan Absol is another deck that does kind of stand to gain from that. But yeah, I think that you're gonna probably continue to see like the less good decks. Like, why is anyone playing? I mean, I guess if you're talking to like Jesse, Jesse's gonna look at like Joltik or some sort of Miraidon deck and be like, if Dragapult and Guardia are the only two decks that I'm gonna face, well then I have to play Miraidon and get a turn 2 Iron Hands.
I know.
And I will win every game.
So locked into that. Yeah, he's
Jesse
very
catching
locked into,
strays
very,
for no
very
reason.
attuned, very attuned to the Iron Hands. Very attuned.
He's like, this is the perfect opportunity. So maybe Jesse's right. Maybe the meta will like come all the way around so that he can perfectly play Miraidon at Vegas.
I hope.
No.
I hope so. One last ride.
I promised Jesse I wasn't gonna make fun of his Miraidon deck, so he would show me his current list. So
Because he said he wouldn't show it to you if you kept making fun.
no, he didn't actually say that, but I just wanted him to show me, so I said I wouldn't make fun of it. So I'm sticking my word, Jesse. I'm not making fun of your Miraidon deck, bro. I got you.
Yeah, it's only Andrew.
I got you. You play that for Vegas, you win that freaking thing, dude.
Yeah. Just don't play it on the ladder, right? Don't play it on the ladder. You don't want that secret getting
Gotta
out.
keep that hush hush. For sure. Yeah, to me, like, I don't see the metagame making like probably significant strides at this point. We're multiple tournaments deep and seeing kind of similar outcomes. I think there will likely be fluctuation, and like to a point you made earlier, JW, like, I think a non-Gardevoir or Dragapult deck could win a tournament. I just think they're the favorites any given tournament because they're so freaking good.
Yeah.
But in a game of variance, like the best cards, best decks don't always
You think
win.
so?
That's
What do you
that's
think?
part of it.
What do you think could win, bro?
Dude, like I think like we just saw Charizard win. I think like a Terrabox could win a tournament. I think like a Grimmsnarl could win a tournament. Like the Absol deck, honestly, if it snuck into a top cut, could win a tournament. Like there's contenders. I just think, if you're running the odds on Kalshi, like you're probably putting them down on Guardia and Dragapult,
It's so true.
Yeah. So anyway, there's still time.
What are you
still
eyeing
time.
up, JW?
Well, I like Grimmsnarl, man.
I think I have the most experience with this format, actually.
The problem,
of the three of us, which is like a rare sight.
Which is absurd, but it's very welcomed, right? Because I think the team is very strong when Riley makes a commitment. Seriously, that's not even like I'm not joking here. I think that's like I really value your insight. So it's good to hear. I really like Grimmsnarl still. And this might be just kind of a hyper focus on Gardevoir as being, still the most played deck, a deck that you're going to see across both phase 1 and phase 2. And then like Charizard is also, on the rise, and that's a very good matchup for the Grimmsnarl deck. I had thought heading into Pittsburgh that Dragapult Dusknoir was a good matchup. And then that was my only 2 losses in Pittsburgh were to Dragapult Dusknoir players. I lost to Lance, and he was the only one that I took a game off of, and then I lost the stream match 2-0 to Rowan with his Dragapult deck. So I came out of Pittsburgh thinking that, yeah, it's unfavored, or I just hit really good players because both of them were in top 32. Lance was in the ASIM cut. Now I'm like testing it more, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to add Psyduck. I'm trying to think about other ways that I can cheese the matchup a little bit. It feels pretty bad for Grimmsnarl. And that has me a little bit hesitant. So like heading into Pittsburgh and maybe coming out of Pittsburgh, I would have said like, oh, it's 50-50 or like slightly unfavorable, even though I got my butt whooped in a couple of matches at the tournament. But now the more that I'm like really trying to grind out the matchups, I just don't love Grim into Dragapult right now.
Yeah, I don't think the matchup's quite as bad as your current impression, but it probably also depends on like the Dragapults you're playing.
Yeah.
I've played quite a lot of Grim actually, mostly in service of you, dude. Like I'm trying to like see the light that you've been privy to.
I know.
And like I don't know, like the deck has been fine. I've been winning with it, but I'm like, what is going on here?
It's a tough one.
I'm
yeah,
like,
you really gotta you gotta clutch it sometimes. You gotta
like,
you're really
sometimes
like
you get Iono'd to 6 and your spike booth gets bumped and it's like I lose. Like,
the deck plays
I got 6 cards and all of them suck somehow. Like, and the next 5 cards deep in my deck are terrible.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on, and I'm just sacking 5 prizes and like, but maybe if the 6th card is good after this, so my 12th card in, like maybe if the 12th card is really good, then I can come back and it's like the 12th card is a counter catcher or something.
Yeah.
It's like, what is
So, no, it is really interesting.
So I've been really frustrated playing a deck because I feel like compared to when I've been playing Guardy and Dragapult, like I feel like I have a lot of agency over like the flow of my games.
Yeah,
and,
of course you do.
The options that I have every turn.
Because those decks play draw engines. There is no draw engine in Grimstorm.
Guardy
what's
doesn't
your
really.
motivation, man?
What,
but
dude?
It's just like so here. So
you got the
like,
Mew and you got the Fez and you got the Cleffa.
You do have the Mew is actually insanely clutch. Like I've clutched up so hard with the Mew playing Guardy lately. But so I was thinking, what can I do to solve that conundrum, like Sans Fezandipity? Because I think the Fezandipity is just going to lose you games.
Mm-hmm.
My current thought is like Tatsugiri, I think could actually be kind of good. Just like as a goofball that you can like retreat into off of Buddy Poffin.
Yeah.
And my other like sell on the Tatsu is you can Buddy Poffin it and start accumulating damage with your Frostlass right away.
Sure.
So that way you have access to Monkey on turn 2.
Sure.
If you aren't able to get a Monkey down turn 1, because it's like kind of randomly hard to get monkeys into play if you don't draw them. So like Tatsu is something I've been thinking about. But I think like for me, like I just personally wouldn't play the Grim deck, I don't think.
You're not a believer.
Like I would probably play like personally if I was going to Vegas, I'd be playing Guardy because I'm really liking how Guardy's feeling in my hands right now. And granted, I'm playing like post Diancie Guardy on ladder right now because I'm a ladder demon at the moment. But but that deck's insane. Like that is like so ridiculous, the Diancie thing.
Well, the Diancie, it has a different weakness.
Dude,
it hits 240 for 2 energy.
Have you tried Toxtricity Absol yet, bro?
No, I've been like locked in on my Diancie Guardy thing, and like that took bazonkers. Like I don't think I've lost a single game since I started putting Diancie in the deck. And like some of my wins are egregious, like completely undeserved. Like
that's crazy. I'm excited about the Toxtricity with Absol because I liked the Kangaskhan Absol deck, but I feel like the Toxtricity kind of gives you like a slightly different angle. You can put damage counters on yourself for your own monkeys. You've also got like the single prize guy, the snake, who can like just do 240.
Dude, there's no way that deck is good.
240.
The deck,
what
there's
does
no
the
way that
Toxtricity
deck is
do?
good.
Hold on.
It searches out a dark, right? And you can attach it.
The Toxtricity accelerates a dark from the deck to one of your bench Pokemon and puts 2 damage counters on it.
But it's a stage 1.
So?
Dude.
You're talking about stage 2s.
But like the whole point of the Absol deck was that it was like a stupid little basic deck.
But you could just cut out the Kangaskhan completely. It's just an Absol deck. It's just a dark deck now. No fighting guys.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get in the lab with that one. I don't know. I trust Riley's judgment.
I haven't tried. I have no experience with the Toxtricity. I have lots of experience with the Diancie, and that card is bazoingas. Like,
I did play the Toxtricity Absol deck for like, I don't know, 5 hours on stream with Jesse the other day. So
yo,
that's why.
I trust
so
your
gassed
judgment
on it.
I trust your judgment.
It was just sick. I'm like, I don't know if it's like meta good, but was it dope? Yeah, for sure. Because like,
I'm not even saying it's terrible. It's just
charging up your own monkeys was just good. That was just good. Like I was doing.
Good. I mean, that's kind of the whole thing at Guardy.
At the end of the game, it felt like a dark Guardy, right? At the end of the game, like I'm just like charging energy onto my Toxtricities just to retreat the energy off, just to get the damage counters to manipulate it with Absol. Like one of the biggest issues with the Kangaskhan Absol deck is that you were like waiting for your opponent to like hit something to like then monkey, but like you could just force it with Tox, which was cool.
That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, so I guess for Vegas, like Guardy would kind of be my top seed right now. Or, I mean, I've played a comparable amount of Dragapult, but I've been on a little bit of a Dragapult hiatus as I've been trying other cool stuff.
Yeah.
So like, to be honest, I would just play one of those two, which is like a kind of a lame answer, but like I have a lot of reps with both of those decks now, and I feel really confident.
They're just they're the two decks that play the most broken cards, right? Per pound for pound, they play the most broken cards.
Yeah, broken cards per capita is insane.
Yeah,
sure.
Dragapult, just Dragapult with the draw engine, and you can hide behind item lock. Gardevoir, I mean, somewhat similar. Yeah. You don't necessarily have the draw engine of Dragapult, but you hide behind an item locker if you do choose to play the Jellicent, and you have the absurd abuse of Monkey Dory to effectively snipe down your opponent's threats. I mean, it just is ridiculous. So yeah, I'm with you there, Riley. It's like if you're still trying to figure out what to play, probably safe bet to go with one of those two. So that's going to do it for us today, guys. If you liked the episode, please make sure to like and subscribe either over on YouTube or, leave a rate and review on your favorite podcasting platform. If you want to get more plugged into Tag Team, you can find us over on X. That's at Tag Team Podcast for the podcast. At Tag Team Pokemon for the podcast. At Real John Walter for myself. At Smiles with Riles for Riley. And at Enjoy Friend for Andrew.
Thank you all so much for listening. And we'll catch you next time. Peace.